The Tigress of Nigeria defeated Australia's Opal 75-62 in their opening match at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Led by Rena Wakama, Nigeria secured their first Olympic win since Athens 2004. Despite being ranked 12th compared to Australia's 3rd, Nigeria dominated from the start with stand-up performances from Mujanatu Musa, Ezini Kalu and Amy Okonkwo. The team led 18-17 after the first quarter and extended the lead to 41-28 by half-time. Despite a strong comeback from Australia, the Tigress held on for the win. They will next face France in Group B on Thursday.
Well, our Arise Sports correspondent, Aaron Akerajola, is live at Stade de France in Paris, of course, bringing us the latest from the 2024 Paris Olympics. Great to have you join us this afternoon, Aaron. Looking nice in France. We have some thrilling news coming out about the women's basketball tournament. The Nigerian team, the Tigress, they've been making us proud, and they secured that remarkable victory over Australia's Opals. Another major achievement for them. Could you tell us more about the Tigress and, how they managed to pull off this impressive win, and also what we expect for them in the next game? I think their next game is against France.
All right, yes, you're very correct on that one, but I must say kudos and congratulations to the Tigress and Team Nigeria. We needed that boost of inspiration, and also we needed that shot in the arm because Team Nigeria hasn't gotten off to a flying start at this Olympic Games, and we're literally grasping for straws because we're looking for something to hold on to because all the athletes that have actually gone into the thick of the action in the course of this tournament have all fallen by the wayside, getting knocked out left, right, and center like dominoes. But we are happy that for the first time in 2 decades, the Tigress that have always lived up to the high billing, dominated Africa, have come to the Olympics and they are showing their mettle, beating Australia. That is a huge signal. I must actually say, going against the French will be a different ballgame entirely, but kudos to them for actually holding their nerve because they led in the first and second quarter, and the Australians and the Aussies tried to claw back in the third, but they had let so much gap between themselves and the Tigress as they could not really claw back as the Tigress took the fourth quarter to seal that remarkable win. I must say kudos to them, kudos to Team Nigeria, but it hasn't really gone Team Nigeria's way, because we spoke about the disqualified athlete that was supposed to be in action today. That did not happen. And also, in table tennis, another player refused to rise up to the occasion. So we're seeing things not really go on with Haruna Kadri and most of all the singles participants in the table tennis event all falling by the wayside. It's really, really sad that at the Olympics, Paris 2024, we have refused to turn up in the table tennis events, and literally our team, talking about the football national team, the Super Falcons, at the moment, you look at it closely and you find out that they also have been nearly women, as some will say, because they've had opportunities against Spain last night. They had opportunities earlier on in their opening exchanges against Brazil, but were not able to capitalize, and they were made to pay heavily for that. 1-0 defeats in both games have seen them literally crawling and literally gasping for air at the moment. They will be hoping that if they can do themselves the world of good by beating Japan, then they might be onto something great. At the moment, we have something to cheer about, not in terms of medals, but the beginning of something good for the Tigress.
Now, Aaron, how did Fatima Bello's performance in the round of 64 at the Paris 2024 table tennis event, where she lost 4-0 to France's Wang Jiannan, impact Nigeria's overall journey in the competition? And what were the implications of this result for Bello's and Nigeria's prospects in the tournament?
Now, you mentioned Fatima Bello. We spoke about her. She was in action 10 a.m. French here in Puri at 9 a.m. Nigerian time, and it was a mismatch, if you'd ask me, because she couldn't even stand the fury that was the French opponent. Of course, maybe the French might have had, or the lady in question might have had roots from China, because we know when it comes to table tennis, the Chinese are very prolific. But Fatima Bello did not really show that she could hold her own against some of the biggest wigs. And this is the round of 64. So there are still the round of 32, and still you go to the round of 16, you still go into the quarterfinals, the semifinals. So these were still early days. We're expecting all our contingents in the table tennis category to rise up to the billion, because they are dominating Africa. But it's been sad news after sad news. They've been falling like dominoes, and it's unfortunate that the Table Tennis Federation will need to introspect after these games and ask, where did it all go wrong? Because if you have Africa number one, Haruna Kadri, failing to beat a Romanian, an unknown Romanian, when it comes to the landscape of table tennis, my God, what is really going on here? What is really going on in the Table Tennis Federation will be the big question.
What is really going on? Well, Aaron, could you give us an update of what it feels like down there in Paris, how everything has been organized, and if you've met up with any of the Nigerian competitors, and what spirits everyone seems to be in?
All right, quickly, let me just bring a quick update, because we had an update coming 4 hours ago. And as it stands, that particular triathlon event that everyone seemed to be holding their bated breath for might not go on, because when tests were carried out 4 a.m. this morning, the results came back and the pollution levels were still high, unacceptable to host any competition. So all the practices lined up for that triathlon event for tomorrow morning has all been cancelled. And it's unfortunate this has happened. Of course, rains that actually came down on Friday and Saturday were hugely responsible for this. And as it stands right now, they will still be keeping fingers crossed as they go into tomorrow. 4 a.m., another round of testing will take place to determine if the triathlon event will hold later that morning. So at the moment, the organizers are still very optimistic, and I don't know how that would affect the performance of the triathletes, because if they cannot put in the needed run-through pace, as they like to call it in sports, if they cannot really begin to feel the waters, then what will become of the main event when it kicks off? But it's unfortunate that is how the cookie crumbles here, and they would have to wait till tomorrow morning by 8 a.m. to find out if they will actually host a particular event. They've done everything human possible to ensure the River Seine is safe for athletes to actually use, but at the moment, the force majeure has really hit them hard. That was speaking about the rain that it fell on Friday and on Saturday, polluting and contaminated the water and the water levels there. So at the moment, we'll still keep our fingers crossed, as that's the biggest news coming out, that a major sporting event might be cancelled, though thanks to pollution levels.
Well, Aaron, I'd like us to talk a bit about the Super Falcons. You know, the mathematicians are doing some calculations now, and they believe there just might be a slim chance that the Falcons will be able to move into the next round of the games. Can you talk to us about that?
All right, speaking about Super Falcons, I spoke about them in the morning. It's really sad what is happening, but they've put in a brave performance in both games, speaking about the game against Spain and Brazil. But if we were to chime into the game against Spain, the Super Falcons have really done well. They actually stuck to their game plan, according to their coach Randy Waldrum, who said the game plan was to soak up all the pressure, because the Spanish, with their tiki-taka style, were going to dominate possession. They did exactly that, and the Super Falcons held up for 85 minutes before Alexis Putellas actually scored the all-important goal in the 55th minute to break the deadlock and ensure that Spain picks up all 3 points. But as it stands right about now, thanks to the fact that Canada and their espionage episode has cost them 6 points. So all the matches they've won has actually been the points have been taken away, which has opened up the Super Falcons opportunity. If they can beat Japan on Wednesday in North, means that they will still be able to go into the next round of this particular competition, but they will need to do the hard job. Go against Japan and beat Japan. But now note, Japan are no pushovers because Japan themselves in our particular group shocked Brazil by beating Brazil yesterday. A late goal ensured that Japan actually picked up all 3 points. So it is delicately balanced at the moment, and the Super Falcons know that they need to have a game of games. They need to raise the stakes. They need to put in a lifetime performance if they want to get into the next round of this particular competition, because you look at the records, it is stacked against them. At the Olympics, 11 games played dating back to the 90s, and we've only won 1 game, lost a whopping 9 out of 11 games played up to date. That's not good enough. They will need to put in a great performance to be able to get into the next round. Their destiny right now is in their hands. The question is this: when destiny calls, will they stand up and answer? Is the big question. Wednesday we'll find out.
I guess on Wednesday we definitely will find out. Aaron, it's always great to have you continue the good work there at the Olympics, and thank you for joining us here on Newsday.